Welcome everyone to an excellent game between Dragonborn as the Ogre Kingdoms going up against the forces of Khorne on the Eye in the north. Now of course we're going to be here with the new regiments of renown today, and we're going to be having quite a few for you. So we're going to start at the front here with the Warriors of Khorne, here with the Battle Axe and those big ginormous shields, giving them Silver Shield here, blocking 55% of all small missiles. In the secondary line, we are going to have the mass weapon strength of the Spawn of Khorne, also with the additional triple bronze chevron, giving us leadership melee attack buffs as well. We're also going to be having the Khorne halberds in the back, anti-large and armor piercing, very good here up against the Ogre Kingdoms. On the other side, we are going to have the Cultists of Khorne, both here on foot, with the Gate of Khorne coming for the Bloodletter summons. They are going to be okay up against some of the Ogre Kingdoms. Very, very good armor piercing and weapon strength, but otherwise really going to lack on the anti-large. We're also going to be having the Herald of Khorne. He's going to be on a motorbike. Bit of an interesting choice coming up against coming up against Ogre Kingdoms with this, but still nonetheless. Revelant Slaughter, the Totem of the Endless Bloodletting, as well as Gore Feast, the Hellblade, and then also the Locust of Wrath. So, for the Ogre Kingdom, starting on the other side, we have a bit of a beauty to start with. We are going to be having the Powder Guts. So, the big bad boys new here to the scene, and they're going to be coming with a bang. Adaptive Tactics coming, which is when they're losing in melee combat, they get some melee buffs, 24 melee defense, and also 24 melee attack. Still here with the same Ogre charge, they are going to have immune to psychology, and pretty good weapon stats in total. Now they're going to be backed up by the Little Brothers, extra Manning to Ogre pistols on the side, and then 4 units of the Ogre balls for a mass front line. For the Lord choice, we are going to have the Slaughter Master of the Great Maw in the back. He's going to be having the Greedy Fist, Belly Slapper, Blood Gruel, as well as the Blood Cleaver, as well as the spells of Troll Guts, the Maw, Bull Gorger, and the ability of the extra ingredients. So we're going to charge forward into the middle, bit of a skip on here. Now we do see here we managed to go with the Ogre Kingdoms to the right hand side. Powder Guts and the Manita Pistols coming over to sort of the Khornite spawn side of the battlefield. That could be a bit interesting. We do have Vanguard deployment. We could get maybe some Fleshhounds out, maybe some Furies as well, to come forward and compromise the Manita Ogre Pistols. So looks like we're going to go straight down the pipeline here for Khorne. We're going to be coming after Domination Point 2. We're not even going to try and, maybe even duke out our opponent. We're just going to go straight for it here. And it looks like we're going to be coming forward also with some Saber Tusk packs. So a bit more of a skip on. We are now going to be coming down the middle with Khorne. They're going to be challenging here. We do actually manage to get a good fire line set up on the ridge. So all three are going to be shooting into the front line here of the Warriors of Khorne, and also maybe catching a few Spawn of Khorne. Now immediately at the top we are going to get some summons of the Fleshhounds. They're going to be charging up against these Saber Tusks. I think value-wise it's always more cost-efficient for the Saber Tusks, but we will actually probably win here with the Fleshhounds. So it should be pretty even. Both going to be getting the charge on each other. We can see at the top, it looks like here the Fleshhounds are actually going to be taking the advantage. We're going to be rampaging a little bit, and the fight's going to be, relatively even. It's going to be quite a bit of damage on both sides. Furies coming to the battlefield. They're now going to be maybe compromising the Powder Guts and the crew. Perhaps actually fighting the Powder Guts may not be so worth it. Actually getting on top of the Man-Eaters in melee combat might be a little bit better. But still, nonetheless, we are going to have 44 melee attack with magic damage, and then also 48 weapon strength per model. Coming here with 60 models, we can really wrap around the majority of the Manita Ogre pistols and do some great work. In the middle, we are going to have some of the Warriors of Khorne fighting here up against the Lord Choice, moving in and amongst most of the Ogre balls. Looks like in the back we are going to get the Maw spell. That's going to do some lovely damage in the pocket. Lots of damage there up against the Warriors of Khorne. In the middle, we're going to be rampaging with the Spawn of Khorne. The Locust of Wrath has been activated, giving that plus 40 melee attack, up to 83 here for the Spawn of Khorne, and they are shredding through the Ogre balls rather quickly. A summon of the Bloodletters in the back. They're going to be compromising a lot here in the middle, and then we are going to get the second one as well. So all summons on the battlefield is going to be all guns ho here with the Furies as well coming on top, just massacring all of the Ogres in the pocket. It looks like for the most part a majority loss. Ogre balls on the top as well. Domination Point 3 is going to be open. Domination Point 1 here has been captured with Khorne, and then Domination Point 2 is now going to be in the Khorne favour. So we are going to get a double capture here. Now how are we going to respond? In the middle we summon a Giant. We're also going to get some of the Ogre Ball Iron Fists. I'm not really a big fan of these, and also Iron Fists don't really make sense. They're going to be coming with shields, but they're not really going to have anything shooting at them, and even if so, there's only artillery, which the Iron Fists really aren't going to do too much against. I think here perhaps maybe wasn't the best strategy, but maybe even coming with Iron Guts might have been a little bit better. They have great armor-piercing weapon strength, and they can challenge a lot of the heavily armored Khorne infantry. On the floor, we have Ogre Balls going to be dashing and smashing here up against the Warriors of Khorne. And it's not the Lord Choice here going to be butchering the cultists. Uhtred here is going to be running away. He really doesn't want to be fighting in and amongst all of this mess. We know the Warriors of Khorne falling here just to mass Ogre Balls. And now we're going to get a summon of the Halberds. They're going to be coming through to the middle. We do actually have more of the Flesh Hounds going to be cleaning up a lot of the Ogre Balls here around the battlefield. We're now going to be capturing Domination Point 3 here with the Noblars. They're going to be moving on. We do in the back here have Manny-to Ogre Pistols, including the Powder Guts, which are going to be waiting in and behind the Noblars. Just mass chaff coming forward here and dragging down the enemies as we fire nice, hot, heavy lead into the front line here with the Spawn of Khorne and the majority of the Halberd infantry. In the pocket of the Giant is going to be having Troll Guts on him, but he's going to be suffering at the might as the Warriors of Khorne here. The Maw spell might be quite nice to remove all of the Halberds. In the middle, it looks like we are going to be still rampaging with the Spawn. Not too much else to write about. Still going to be healing here for the Giants. But over in the middle, we do see breaking with the Ogre Balls, really suffering to the just mass, heavily armoured infantry of Khorne. And they are going to grind them out there for a bit of a victory. Over on the left, we do actually have some of the Warriors of Khorne just going to be holding Domination Point 1. Maybe we could come over here and challenge it a little bit. It looks like we are going to be having Ogre Ball Iron Fist coming to the battlefield yet again. Obviously, they're going to be here with the shields. I don't think there's actually going to be too much more to them. I think they just come with an extra 10 armor, which is, you know, not really too much to write home about. Flesh Hound's going to be charging over to the right-hand side. We do see a return here of the Ogre Balls, so that's going to be the symbol right there. But the Halberds are now getting into the front, and this is where we're going to be chock-a-blocking this kind of front on assault kind of lane here as we get into Domination Point 2. It's only going to be the left-hand lane here for the Ogre Balls to get in and around. We do see the Halberds, though, kind of cleaning up this spot. But we do have the Iron Fist, and they're going to be charging forward, and they're going to come and try and see if we can compromise the Chaos Warriors. But I don't know if we're going to be able to clear them out too easily. They should be able to hold rather nicely. 44 melee attack, 40 melee defense, good weapon strength. Should you know, do quite nicely here in the pocket. So Domination Point 3 is going to be held. We're going to be at least 1,500-ish tickets behind. So basic income 15 plus 5 losing compensation. It's not going to be looking too good here currently for the Ogre Kingdoms. But Flesh Hounds, they're going to be in. They're going to be compromising the Manny-to Ogre Pistols. 2 units still here on the battlefield. I don't actually know where the Powder Guts have gone. Maybe the Powder Guts here fighting in the front. Yeah, Powder Guns are going to be in the front fighting in melee combat here up against the Khorne Halberds. We just see the Slaughtermaster using Troll Guts on himself whilst fighting here up against the Furies. The Khorne's doing really, really well to keep bolstering that front line and protecting Domination Point 2 and just putting in kind of waves and waves of its own trash into the front here with the Halberds just to really drag down all the infantry. Bloodletter Summon's going to be rather interesting. We just see Ogre Balls charging forward. Bloodletter's really going to suffer up against the mass weapon strength of the monstrous infantry. They're going to charge downhill and get some big slaps. Look at that! Fantastic stuff. They're going to be buttering the bread here of these Bloodletters. Very nice stuff. In the middle, it looks like we are going to be overwhelming the Khorne's infantry. The Warriors really going to be suffering. These bad boys are going to be slashing and dashing in combat. And, you know, they do have extra armor, so maybe here just the regular Khorne Warriors might suffer just a little bit more here. Of course, the majority of them not going to be too armor-piercing. They're going to be coming here with 11 armor-piercing per model, so not too huge, I must say. So, over in the battlefield here in the middle, we are going to be having the Spawn of Khorne now up to a silver chevron. They're going to be diving into Domination Point 2 as the front's still going to be fighting, but kind of getting dwindled down here. It's going to be a lot harder to reinforce the Khorne side of the force as they're going to be a little bit further away from their spawn point. At the top, we are going to get the Manny-to Ogre Pistols. Maybe they could fight here amongst the Furies, kind of whittle them down a little bit and then finish them off nice and quickly. But unfortunately here, a lot of the Noblars are going to be falling. In the middle, Ogre Balls fighting alongside the Powder Guts. Powder Guts very, very good in combat. You can see those greens coming in. 74 melee attack, 76 melee defense. Because they are going to be losing in combat, so they are going to get those 24-24 buff here on the battlefield as they fight along the majority of the battle line. The Khorne Halberd is doing very well with the Locust of Wrath, giving that plus 40 melee attack. Up to 87 with anti-large and armor piercing is unbelievably scary. In the middle, we are going to get Dismember, which is going to slow down a lot of the forces here. So maybe a spell coming in, maybe a Maw or something like that could be very good up against this mass infantry. So 2,770 tickets up against 1,400. It looks like here we are going to bolster with some Flesh Hounds on Domination Point 1. Ogre Kingdoms has taken it, and that's going to be the home point here for the Khornite forces. The double Iron Balls, or shall we say the Ogre Ball Iron Fists, apologies, are going to be doing rather well here in Domination Point 1, but they are going to break eventually. They have butchered the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, but you can see the cost efficiency is just so much higher. The Ogre Ball Iron Fist just were not cost efficient. Just one unit of the Iron Guts would have done a lot better. Flesh Hounds, they were in and around, but now they're going to be diving off. They're going to be coming forward, trying to see if we can get some battlefield control. We actually have double Saber Tusks in the middle. One could capture, the other could fire, but it's like they are going to get charged down here by the Flesh Hounds. So that charge bonus is going to be very, very beneficial indeed. They're going to be fighting quite well in combat. Neither of them here coming with chevrons. Actually, no, the Flesh Hounds coming with the chevrons. So they're going to do rather well here in the middle. We are going to be capturing Domination Point 2. Saber Tusks are going to run away here from the Flesh Hounds. Here in the middle, the Furies do fall. Noblars here going to be backing up the Man-Eater Ogre Pistols, creating a little bit of a Noblar barrier, as you were. We can see he's still a barrier here. We're going to be fighting in quite a big blob. That's what actually the Giant will do quite nicely. Those splash attacks will really do quite well up against all of the mass infantry in the middle. Cultist looking rather healthy. He's going to be fighting quite nicely. We do actually come in with the Morphan Cavalry with the great weapons. They're going to be anti-large and armor piercing. They'll do very well here up against all of the cavalry choices that you come forward here with Khorne. In the middle, though, the Khorne Cultist, he's going to be suffering a little bit, down to 1,500 HP. Halberd's going to be falling, only going to be one left here in the pocket. Bloodletter's is also going to be fighting, and some Spawn of Khorne. They're going to be fighting in a big monstrous infantry battle here in the middle, and there's not really looking like there's going to be any sort of winner here, because of course it's going to be blood for the blood gods, or it's going to be, you know, a little bit of extra chowder here for dinner. But in the middle, we are going to be having the Saber Tusks fighting quite nicely. Second point here is now going to get captured by the Noblars, and we're going to be moving over the top with the Man-Eater Ogre Pistols. 5 models are going to be firing into the front line, catching a lot of the Flesh Hounds, but they do manage to retake Domination Point 1. So 3,385 here going up against 2,700. A pretty close battle here, I must say so, and maybe Ogre Kingdoms could drag this one out. We can see more Halberds coming to the middle here, backed up by Flesh Hounds. Halberds, of course, going to be rather slow. So 28 speed, once you've lost that battlefield control, it's really, really hard here to get back into the game. And especially when you're going to be having Morphan Cavalry, especially the great weapons on the battlefield, you're really also going to struggle to get other elements on. So maybe even some Minotaurs of Khorne. They are going to be reduced by 150 gold. They are quite cost efficient here on the battlefield. But Furies, they're not going to do it for you. This is where I feel like the Khorne players falling behind. They're relying on a lot of mobile troops that don't have armor piercing. They're really going to struggle up against the 90 armor here of the Morphan Cavalry. Also, they're all going to be attacking from the same angle. Coming in and around from behind is also going to reduce that melee defense. And then also is going to be giving them, you know, kind of debuffs to that leadership. You know, that charge from behind giving -16 is certainly rather powerful. Halberds charging onto the floor, we will actually see some ammunition coming out of the Man-Eaters. 2 ammunition left per model, so about 10 lots of that heavy lead there to fire into the front line of the Halberds. More Halberds are going to be chasing off the Man-Eater Ogre Pistols. We really need to get forward here with the majority of this force. In the middle, the Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw, using extra ingredients here. He's going to be at healing cap, but he's probably going to have some spells left here. Maybe a Bull Gorger or 2 here on the battlefield could be quite nice. The Giant here cleans up the majority of the crew of Khorne, and you can see on the battlefield there's really not too much left here to, you know, kind of fight with. We do see in the middle here the Chaos Furies really struggling. Ogre Bulls are going to be fighting here. The Morphan Cavalry are going to get chased off. They've taken a considerable amount of damage, but I think the majority would have come from the Warriors of Khorne. More Warriors of Khorne do need to come back into the middle. They need to fight quite heroically here to make sure we can keep going in the battle. Ogre Ball, Iron Fist, backed up by more Ogre Balls just charging forward. It's just mass monstrous infantry or cheap Noblars here in the front line. We are actually going to see in the backside Flesh Hounds maybe capturing Domination Point 3. We are going to need to rotate certain amount of resources here. We are going to be desummoning some of the Ogre Balls in the back. We do get some more here summoned. We really, really quickly need to get onto this Domination Point 3. This is a bit of a bold choice. The Flesh Hounds are now going to get around and try and see if we can kill the Lord Choice. And I really think we need to capture Domination Point 3 here. Going for the Lord is a bold strategy, Cotton, I must say so. The Lord Choice is going to break, but we're going to be behind on tickets. We're nearly capturing Domination Point 1 as well here with the Ogre Balls. The Khorne infantry are going to make it, so we absolutely have to dash into the back. I think this play here has maybe cost the Khorne player the game. I'm not too sure so far, but the Saber Tusks is going to be rampaging in the middle. Halberds are going to be fighting strong, but there's not going to be enough capture weight here to get onto the pocket. Now, the Cultists of Khorne are going to be fighting up against the Ogre Balls, really trying hard here to drag down as many as you possibly can, but sadly, it's not looking like it's going to be enough. 4,400 to Dragonborn going up against 4,200 from Khorne. So Khorne are going to be holding the capture point 1. They could have taken capture point 3, but I think here, unfortunately, it is going to be a waste there from the Flesh Hounds of Khorne. We do see Halberds coming forward, but I don't think we got enough time. Fury's coming across, but they can't capture the point. And I think that is going to be all we wrote. We do see Saber Tusks fighting up against Fleshhounds. We are going to slowly capture it here with Khorne. The Ogre War Iron Fists are going to be trying their best. If we kill here with the Saber Tusks, maybe we could get on the point and start capturing. But in the middle, that's going to be well and truly hold. In the back, we have Furies fighting. Halberds are going to try and get across. But I think here, yeah, I don't think there's any way of getting back into this. Get a quick skip on. We get more Furies coming forward. We are going to kill. But there we go. GG's and well played here to the forces of the Ogre Kingdoms and Mr. Dragonborn. So we do see here the Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw, 1060 for him, 2300 damage value, 117 kills for the Powder Guts. Big fan of these bad boys. Of course, we did see quite a big debuff for Man-Eater Ogre Pistols. Not too sad about that. I think they were quite powerful, and they, they were certainly one of the units that I said after we saw the Lead Belchers get nerfed, they were going to be the ones to step up and kind of take the throne. Yeah, so 2,300 for them. They perform very, very well. The fact, if they are losing in combat and they're not having a great time of it, they can get some amazing melee buffs indeed. So 1,300, 700 as well for the Man-Eater Ogre Pistols. So 2,000 in general. So 4,300 their value coming from the triple Ogre Pistols. 696, 620, as well as 740 and 730 there for the Ogre Balls. In the backside, the Giant got 101 kills, 2,746, and we have a lot of anti-large in this force, and that is also where things like the cheaper Minotaurs with the great weapons could come in and do some good work here up against the Giant. We saw 832 there for the Morphan Cavalry with great weapons and 850. So not quite paying for themselves, of course, fighting up against the Khorne Halberds as well is never particularly going to be too great for you. 921, 300 as well for the Ogre War Iron Fists with 480 and 711. 680 and 800 there for the Saber Tusks with 271, 220, 230 and 140 there for the Noblars. 530 there for the Herald of Khorne, 2,338 for the double summon of the Spawn of Khorne. Some very, very good stuff going up to the double Silver Chevron. We're also going to have 1,300 for the Cultist, 1,000 as well. Cultist still very, very powerful. Of course, they did get a debuff. Of course, they did get more expensive, but still you can see there nearly doubling its value without even including the summon here that we got on the battlefield. 3,100 damage value for the Halberds, 1,500, incredible work indeed, 1,400 for the Warriors of Khorne, 588 and 1,100. So we did have some great weapons in the back, but we didn't use them. We also had the Hellforged Host, which would have been amazing to see, but sadly they didn't reach the battlefield. 1,800, 2,500 from Fleshhound, still incredibly powerful, with 1,130 there for the Halberds, and 510 for the Bloodletters. 0 for the Khorne Infantry, with 1,940 for the Furies. So a very interesting battle. I definitely think it was in Khorne's hand to win that, but they kind of threw that a little bit there with the play of the Fleshhounds. Bit unfortunate there, but of course, that's the way it goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you did, please smash that like button. Feel free to leave a comment down below. I'd love to know all your thoughts and opinions of all of the new Regiments of Renown units. Do let me know which one is your favourite. If you haven't already, do feel free to subscribe, and also check out that description where you can find my other social media platforms, including that Twitch and Discord. But other than that, I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all very, very soon.